The dot-com bubble has certainly had an impact on the wrestling business. We take a look at how it has negatively affected pro wrestling. Number 8. Breaking kayfabe. There was a time when David Schultz, to quote the great Jim Ross, slapped a reporter around like a government mule. This was after the reporter made the grave mistake of accusing the wrestlers, and the business of being fake. While it is public knowledge now that professional wrestling is scripted, until the 80s, and even in the early 90s, professional wrestlers safeguarded the business and its secrets with their lives. If someone did not exercise good judgment and went about accusing wrestlers of faking it, they would either end up with a concussion or broken bones. However, with the explosion of the internet, and people having the opportunity to peek behind the curtains, kayfabe is all but a foregone memory. The dot-com bubble has certainly had an impact on the wrestling business. We take a look at how it has negatively affected pro wrestling. Number 7. Ease of access to the superstars. It is often said that in order to invest in the product, you need to invest in the characters. There is a reason why superstars such as Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock became icons. The fans can live vicariously through them. The intrigue, and the aura of unpredictability surrounding them was one of the major components that directly contributed to their growing popularity. However, with social media now becoming an important tool for the superstars to communicate with their fanbase, there is no longer an element of surprise to their characters. This is one of the reasons why the fans feel that all the storylines and angles seem rehashed and are monotonous. The stagnation and saturation of characters happen at a rapid pace now more than ever before, and it can be attributed to the ease of access to the superstars. The dot-com bubble has certainly had an impact on the wrestling business. We take a look at how it has negatively affected pro wrestling. Number 6. Dirt sheets. Ask any professional wrestler about the one thing they hate about the internet, and their unequivocal response would be the dirt sheets. The name itself was coined during the territorial days, when certain publications had the inside scoop, or the inside dirt, if you will. While only a small section of the hardcore fans were privy to the existence of these dirt sheets back then, they have since grown at an alarming rate. At this point, there are hundreds, if not thousands of websites, that claim to have inside sources. While not most of them are accurate, there are certain websites that put out news and information that are corroborated by the WWE and wrestling insiders. While it is certainly understandable that they make a living by leaking inside information, it doesn't usually bode well for the fans that want to be surprised during the shows, especially not when the news is plastered all over social media. The dot-com bubble has certainly had an impact on the wrestling business. We take a look at how it has negatively affected pro wrestling. Number 5. Fans trying to dictate the direction of storylines. Vince McMahon would be the first person to attest to the pitfalls that come with engaging fans through social media. Like any other powerful tool that exists, or has existed in the past, using social media is a double-edged sword. While you have a direct channel of communication to your target audience, you also open yourself to the myriad of diatribes against the company and the product. Constructive criticism aside, the fans today often engage in bitter, vile conversations, often criticizing the product put on by wrestling promotions. Worse, they often try to dictate the direction of the storylines, and force the company to go in a different path than originally intended. While it is not always wrong, as seen with Daniel Bryan's ascension to the top, the fans force companies to put on a product that would pacify their sense of right or wrong. Instead of enjoying the product the companies put on, the fans often try to muscle them into submission, and force them to go in a direction they deem appropriate. The dot-com bubble has certainly had an impact on the wrestling business. We take a look at how it has negatively affected pro wrestling. Number 4. Difficulty in separating fact from fiction. As we evolve as a society, we come up with better moral codes, and established conventional wisdom and political correctness. However, we often forget that much like movies and TV shows, professional wrestling shows aren't meant to be taken seriously. There was a time when the fans enjoyed a crude, unadulterated product, marked by blood, gore and sexual innuendos. The fans understood that professional wrestling, much like a theater, was meant to be enjoyed, and not scrutinized. However, as time progressed, wrestling companies were forced to become politically correct, and operate within the confines of what is deemed